Now, you can also create a custom white balance, and you can do this in camera, so as you shoot, the white balance is correct. But honestly, I find that this takes up a little bit of time, and I'd rather just shoot a gray card and then sync it up in post. Why not auto? I've already told you that you definitely don't want to shoot anything with auto white balance. Well, I feel like I need to explain myself and explain why not, because this is what's happening. Basically, your camera is trying to neutralize any color cast in the scene. So as it looks at the scene, if there's an overabundance of any particular color or tone, it tries to remove it, even if I intended it to be there. I shoot on red backgrounds all the time, and if I leave it on auto white balance, the color is terrible because it reads all the red in the scene, it tries to counteract it, and all of a sudden it adds cyan to remove that red. The camera doesn't know any better. I need to make the decisions. Another example where I see auto white balance mess up a lot is with skin tones. For example, if I have a subject on a gray background, but in a really bright colored outfit, sometimes the camera reads all of this color, thinks that it's not supposed to be there, and then adjusts, but it gives me the wrong white balance, and the skin tones look all off. But I think the example where I see it most often, that can be quite frustrating, is with darker or warmer skin tones. Let's take a look at a real life example. My subject here has a much warmer, a darker skin tone. And as my camera reads the scene, it reads the reds in her skin. And for some reason, the camera thinks it's wrong and it cools the photo down. And the result is that when it cools it down, she's looking kind of gray and kind of lifeless. So I need to take control, no more auto white balance, and I change my white balance to a flash preset. And just that little change already makes the white balance so much better. Her skin tones are looking much warmer. But I'll also take a picture of a gray card. And so if you look, when I take a picture of that gray card and then I apply the white balance change, the skin even has a warmer and more lifelike tone to it. So I set my white balance preset to get me most of the way there, and a lot of times it's enough, but I'll take that gray card just to make sure I have that much more accuracy. Other things that affect white balance. I've already talked about how auto white balance messes everything up in a shot, but there actually are a few other things that may inadvertently change your white balance. First of all, changing modifiers may actually change your white balance. For example, if you switch to a softbox from another modifier, and the softbox is maybe a little bit older, it's slightly yellowed, you're going to see that your shot is warmer. If you shoot with a small silver modifier, the picture might feel a little bit cooler. That's actually why I take a picture of a gray card whenever I change my modifiers. Also, this is actually an instance where you may see a difference due to the price or the quality of your strobes. For example, some of the less expensive strobes, as you shoot, the white balance will change from shot to shot. And this is due to the recycle times and the output of the strobe. And usually if you're shooting a lot of frames in rapid fire style, that's where you'll see the change. And I remember in my first studio lighting setup, I was really confused by the inconsistencies from frame to frame. Sometimes it'd be more magenta, and I didn't know what was happening until I learned that this is actually one of the things you're paying for when you get more expensive strobes. Honestly, there's not too much you can do besides maybe shooting a little bit slower or buying more expensive gear. This is one of the trade-offs that you may encounter, and it's not the end of the world, but just know that it can happen. Pulsy buff Einsteins, for example, actually have a setting that allow you to choose whether the flash is in action mode, so faster flash, or if you have better color consistency, which is the constant color mode, you get to choose.